So, Mr. Beard has made a video about Sneako called, can't do this. Here we go. Debunking Sneako, YouTube's biggest man-child, from Mr. Beard. You know, going after Sneako. It's one of those video essays, so, you know, probably in the production for a while. And, of course, Sneako responded to it in his video on Sneako, called Yet Another Soy Boy Tries to Cancel Sneako. So this will be a fun one. Let's get to watching. Let's get to watching.
My child. Have you been sinning recently? Then you should.
I think this is his new look for his podcast he's doing or something.
Come and join
Nick is Not
the
Green.
Fellowship Covenant Podcast, a new congregation that has been started with my brother Nick is Not Green. If you're feeling sinful, click the link in my bio and come confess.
If you're feeling sinful, come. Okay. Yeah, that's what I already do.
Before we begin, I just want to say, hi Sneako. If you happen to be reacting to this on your stream, I just want to say I'm very excited to hear all of your incredibly insightful commentary about how I'm a fat, ugly, weak beta male pussy. I'm sure you'll say that my suit makes me look
That's pretty much the only thing he's going to say, yeah.
goofy, and that I'm a massive nerd who's boring and not funny, and that I look like a Discord mod. You know what? I'll even help you do your job for you. Here's a picture of me in a diaper. Look how fat and ugly I am. I'm sure your chat will die laughing at that, so don't forget to start spamming L and the whale emoji in the chat. That'll really hurt my feelings. Now, while you have fun with your playground insults, I'm gonna tear you apart, because I think you're a stupid hypocrite who is absolutely terrible at making logical arguments. I am sick and tired of morons like you acting like you're spreading the truth while spewing absolutely illogical nonsense. And no, I will not hop in a call with you and debate you on your stream, because doing that would just be giving you content and letting you profit off of me, and I don't want to do that because—
Well, you could also— Ryan literally could have said, like, I'm not going to jump into a conversation with you specifically because we already talked and it was unproductive last time, and you would just sit there and make stupid noises, like baby noises, and shout the whole time. That's all he really needed to say. He didn't have to bring up any of those because he was in a— it was myself, Mr. Beard, I think Cybernoop, Sneako, and then his friend Lucas? Is it Luke or Lucas? I don't remember. So, and Gideon, I think, was there. But I think he left by the time that Mr. Beard was there. But okay.
Because I hate you. We already talked once, and the entire time you just insulted my appearance, screamed over me, and ignored everything I said, and I don't want to go through that again. And if you think that makes me a coward, I could not fucking care less. What would happen if you gave a god complex and a camera with a fisheye lens to the most annoying boy from your middle school? You would get Sneako. Sneako is a YouTuber who's most well known for his show 1 Minute Podcast, where he interviews people in the New York City subway about various controversial topics. I've known about Sneako for a few years now, and while I definitely disagreed with a lot of his opinions, I at least thought he was a pretty good interviewer who was good at asking interesting questions. But recently, Sneako has started live streaming, where he has exposed himself for being much dumber than I originally thought he was. On these streams, Sneako has been spouting a bunch of red—
You know— oh my god, he's really tearing into him. You know, it's an interesting question to ask, though, because a lot of people respect Sneako from his older content, which I totally get that. And people are like, yeah, man, he's going down like this really bad rabbit hole, really bad path, blah, 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 blah. He used to be so intelligent. What happened? So I wonder if it's that Sneako no longer, like— people keep saying that Sneako just, like, stopped caring, but, like, what if the only reason that Sneako seemed so intelligent before is because he would make, like, edited content? And, like, now that he speaks long form unedited, maybe now people are realizing that he's not super insightful. I think he did stream, but when he was, like, really young at the time. It's just a question to ask. I don't know if it's necessarily true. But yeah, okay.
Pill nonsense about how women are inferior to men and how the only thing that gives women value is their bodies.
You cannot provide anything other than pussy. That's all you got. You got a mouth, you got pussy, but that's it. You got no logic. You're not really empathetic. You have a lot of feelings. You're definitely emotional, but it's not empathy. That's all you got.
I will say, it's kind of funny that Sneako criticizes people for being emotional, and he's super emotional. He gets very frustrated anytime he feels anybody questions his masculinity. He has an absolute meltdown. But the second, but when he's criticizing you, if you have an emotional reaction, he'll call you emotional, right? So, like, I made the joke where I was like, maybe the reason that women don't respect you is because you're not a high value male, and I said it laughing and everything, and he had a meltdown. Meanwhile, he'll be like, "You're fat. You have Funko Pops. You love your wife," and it's like, okay, those don't bother me because those are dumb things that you're saying. but like you get super, super, super emotional. And anger is an emotion. I don't know why we don't understand that. He gets really emotional the second that he feels questioned in any capacity. So that is hypocritical, and it's very weak.
Now, anyone with more than 2 brain cells obviously knows that women are 3-dimensional human beings who do use logic and do have more value than just their bodies. But somehow, through sheer arrogance and absolutely terrible arguments riddled with logical fallacies, Sneako has somehow convinced thousands of young men that there actually is validity to what he's saying. Recently on Sneako's stream, he's made a bunch of videos attacking various people in the more left-leaning commentary space. Noah Sampson, Hassan, Anna Marie Forcino, Curtis Connor, D'Angelo Wallace, Chad, and Danny Gonzalez. But
I wonder how many of those were call-outs. I think that like most of those actually were not Sneako being called out first. I actually think most of those were like just this making a video about somebody he didn't like and thought it was a soy boy, and he was just like lashing out for attention, which does seem to be the. I mean, he seems to just make content on popular commentary content creators, call them out in the hopes that they'll respond and like maybe debate him or something, or just he can continue the back and forth. I mean, honestly, it seems like that's the way that he gets content. So I guess good for you, but it does come off as you're just farming content by calling people out over and over again. You know, I don't know, like the new people and seeing who will take the bite, But
after attacking all of these different commentary creators, recently Sneako has been acting like we're obsessed with him because so many of us have been making videos about him.
You need to talk about me for content. You need to talk about how I'm problematic and disgusting. I feed your family.
It's funny because like I'll tell you, there's nothing else to watch. People are like, Papa, can you watch this? I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll watch it if you ask. I don't give a fuck. I mean, yeah, it gets that bag. But like, yeah, I guess part of him is correct. But he kind of does it first to other people, right? Like, that's why he's so problematic. It's probably the biggest thing is that he's constantly shitting on other content creators. So it's like he engages in the same thing he criticizes other people for. He's initiating the farm on the content. Isn't that interesting?
Sneako, this is called reaping what you sow. If you make terrible videos coming for everyone in the commentary community, obviously some of us are going to make videos criticizing you. About 50% of Sneako's content is him just repeating what someone just said in a condescending tone.
From a dude like him.
From a dude like him who's toxic.
About some pretty serious implications that we're going to get into later.
Some allegations and implications.
Kind of telling about your character as a man.
Your character's a man.
Now, this tactic tends to work pretty well.
It's so silly. It's just dumb, but it's silly. It makes me giggle.
When you're in middle school on the playground with other 7th graders, but when you constantly use this tactic as an adult, it makes you look like an absolute moron. And if Sneako reacts to this, I predict he'll repeat a bunch of the things I say in a condescending tone as well. Because
he's giving him the Eminem defense, where he rattles off all the potential perspectives of his enemy, so he has nothing for him to say, right? Eminem did that at the end of 8 Mile. Fuck, dude, I can't speak today.
I refute someone's argument when you can just condescendingly repeat what they just said. Absolutely no logic necessary. So, why did I decide to make this video? Because I thought I could use it as an educational tool to help you learn how to spot logical fallacies in other people's arguments. Because once you start paying attention, you realize that almost every single word out of this motherfucker's
8 Mile was not a terrible movie, okay?
Mouth is a logical fallacy.
Fuck you.
I don't usually spend a ton of time calling out logical fallacies, but Sneako's entire worldview relies so heavily on using logical fallacies that I just couldn't help but call them out. So, come along with me and enjoy Sneako, a masterclass on logical fallacies. First of all, what exactly is a logical fallacy?
I fucking hate debate terms. So weird.
It is the use of invalid or otherwise faulty reasoning in the construction of an argument, which may appear stronger than it really is if the fallacy is not spotted. Logical fallacies are often used in arguments to make it seem like you have a valid point when you actually don't. As much as I dislike Sneako, I will admit that he is a confident, charismatic person, which makes it way easier for him to use logical fallacies without people noticing. But hopefully, throughout the course of this video, I will make it abundantly clear that he uses them fucking constantly. I got all of the definitions of the logical fallacies I'll be using in this video from a website called logicallyfallacious.com. So if you want to learn more about logical fallacies, go check out that website. It's a good resource.
Hypocrisy.
First, I want to focus on Sneako's hypocrisy.
Or as I like to say, hypocrisy. I would try hippopotamus meat, but I feel like it's all fat. So, well, naturally, those things are pretty muscular. You know, like I think the animal with I think hippopotami, whatever, kill more people in Africa than like fucking lions. Isn't that crazy? Those things are dangerous. They kill like crocodiles and shit, or alligators. I don't really know the difference, but like, you know, like the fucking large water salamanders, you know.
Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy isn't technically considered a logical fallacy, but it does diminish someone's credibility when they constantly contradict themselves and do the exact same things they criticize other people for doing. Sneako's content relies heavily on emasculating other men. If you do anything that Sneako considers not manly, he will insult you for it. But whenever people try to emasculate Sneako,
and you don't realize it because you're not in the dating game.
Maybe I don't realize it because I'm actually a high-value male. Women respect me.
he gets very upset and says it's incredibly predictable.
Are you saying I'm not high value? Look, you trying to emasculate me. This is what I'm doing.
I find it extremely hypocritical that you get so upset when people try to...
I felt so bad, too, when I made him feel so upset. I thought he was stronger than that. I thought that he wouldn't have a fucking meltdown. But, like, he's kind of a baby, dude. I was like, okay, this guy talks a lot of shit, so he can, of course, by that logic, take a lot of shit, right? No, incorrect. He cannot take it.
emasculate you, but then you turn around and try to emasculate everyone else. If you don't want people to emasculate you, stop emasculating everyone else. And when you take the time to look into Sneako, you realize that he has done a lot of the things he makes fun of other men for doing. For example, Sneako went on an unhinged 12-minute rant calling Danny Gonzalez a beta male because he wore his girlfriend's makeup as a joke.
Oh, okay.
Just staple this in your mind as exactly what not to be. This is what happens when you go online too much. This is what happens when you listen to the liberal brainwashing too much. You look like this goofy ass idiot.
However, I found a clip from...
Like, listen, me personally, if a guy wears makeup, I think it's a little weird, but whatever, man. But like, if somebody's doing it as a joke, especially, like, why have a meltdown? Like, I mean, at the very least, that person's confident enough to like wear makeup and not care what society says. So I think that's, you know, whatever. Why so serious? As the jokester would say.
From a few months ago where Sneako tried to defend that girls have given him makeovers before.
My sister did a makeover. Chat, you've done a makeover with a bitch before, right? You've done makeup with a girl, come on.
He also mentions that he's worn his sister's high heels before.
Does that make me gay if I put on some high heels?
And I found this clip of him trying on his girlfriend's corset. If trying on makeup or trying on girls' clothes makes you a beta male, then Sneako, you are a beta male. You literally defended that it's totally fine for you to do the exact things that you're criticizing Danny for doing. Do you not see the blatant hypocrisy? Another example, Sneako made fun of Papa Gut for having stuffed animals in his room.
Yeah, that's me. I do have stuffed animals in my room. My wife got me some of them. Some of them I just kind of like. And then a lot of them are just my wife's. But yeah, I have a nice wall that my wife decorated for me back there. It's got my Funko Pops, it's got my stuffed animals and stuff. It's a cute little display. That's it.
I see you have a bunch of those stuffed animals.
Well, wait, hold on.
Yet, what's that on Sneako's bed in the background of his videos? A big stuffed teddy bear.
Yeah, but I think Sneako has sex with that. That's the difference, is that I don't have sex with not all of the stuffed animals I have, only some of them. But Sneako has sex with all the stuffed animals in his room. Proportionally, Sneako fucks more stuffed animals than I do, if you know. That's basically the point that I'm trying to get at. Okay? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Aw, you have a teddy bear on your bed, Sneako? What a pussy. Sneako also accused Hassan of being slightly bisexual and attacked him for being fruity.
Valid. Anything that's anti-Hassan is good in this stream, guys. I'm just kidding.
Hassan Abi are the same pussy men who side with women, who just become bitches, who are like a little bisexual, and embrace the fruity shit.
Yet, a few months ago...
That's the criticism of Hassan, because he sides with women, so he's bad? And he... What the fuck? That's such a dumb criticism. Okay.
Sneako...
See, doesn't that, like, that just shows to me that, like, Sneako... Like, okay, so there are definitely things to criticize for H3, yeah, sure, and Hassan. 100%, absolutely. Right? But, like, if all you're doing is saying, oh, they're too feminine, that's just pathetic. Then, like, what? Like, it sounds like you're just taking the virtuous win. Easily dogpiling Hassan. But I was like, yeah, I don't like him either. It's like, oh, hey, I dislike Hassan because I think maybe he's a little arrogant. And sometimes he'll say things that are like shitty. You know, we don't have to get the specifics. Oh, okay. Why don't you like him? Oh, because he likes girls. What a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? It's like, wow. Like, what's your argument there? I don't get it. That's like the weirdest thing ever. It's bizarre.
Revealed that he is slightly bisexual because he sometimes fantasizes about men.
He wants to fuck Destiny. I'm telling you right now, he is bisexual. He wants to fuck Destiny. I'm telling you. He's just nervous about it. But Destiny's grooming Sneako, guys. You got to be careful. It's happening in live time. None of us care because Sneako's a dickhead. But what happened? He's gonna take advantage of him. You got to be concerned.
Have you ever looked at a person of the same sex and felt attracted in a sexual way?
Yes, Destiny. Very attractive.
I'm gonna say, chat. We're being honest. It's happened.
Whoa!
Right? It's like no one's gonna be 100% straight. It's like a spectrum.
So it feels very weird
When
that
did he say
It's
that?
happened, right?
What the fuck?
It's like no one's gonna be 100% straight. It's like a spectrum.
What? Okay. What is he gonna say about that? That it was just a joke and he's gonna hide behind that? Like what's his logic? That goes against anything. Like that kind of goes against like what I'm confused. Unless he thinks that it's okay to be gay. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Sneako, maybe I'm giving him an argument here. Maybe Sneako thinks it's okay to be gay, which is different from a lot of red pill. A lot of red pillers think that like men that are gay in any capacity are less than. Maybe he thinks it's okay to be gay but not feminine. Is that what it is? Maybe if I'm giving him an argument? Possibly. But okay.
So it feels very weird that you're attacking another person because you think they're slightly bisexual. It seems to me like maybe
true,
you're
though, yeah.
uncomfortable with your own sexuality, so that's causing you to lash out to other people who you perceive as
Maybe.
fruity. Sneako tried to emasculate Zach from the H3 podcast for wearing nail polish.
True.
That guy's nail polish on, like it's like that. Of course you do.
Yet, a few months ago, you talked about how you enjoyed getting a pedicure.
Hey, first of all, I appreciate you for bringing your toes out.
Yeah.
Recently pedicured, they look fantastic.
Thank you,
Sneako.
thank you. I liked it. I enjoyed having.
Well, I will say, listen, there's a difference between getting your nails painted and getting a pedicure, right? When I was younger, my mother said it's okay to get a pedicure. I can only get the clear nail polish. That's what she told me. And then she told me that men get pedicures and manicures because Donald Trump got them. So, how am I in this game so late? So, when you look at it like that, Donald Trump is a real man, and Donald Trump got pedicures. So,
feet being scrubbed, hands being done.
You really got a pedicure, bro? What are you, a fucking female?
True.
The point that I'm trying to make is, when you try to force your extremely narrow view of masculinity onto other men, it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass when you realize that you've done a bunch of the things you criticize other men for doing.
bro, it kills me because in the beginning of the video, he said something about coming, and I just can't. Every time he says the word "come" now, it just makes me think of the word of "come." Like I can't stop. I got "come" in my head right now, all in my mind, all over my eyes, and my mouth.
I would much rather live in a world where men can do whatever the fuck they want to do because who gives a shit, but if we're
Are you saying that you think it's okay if men commit the SA? I'm just kidding. That's a disproportionate reaction. Okay. Not based.
gonna live in Sneako world where trying on girls' makeup, getting your nails done, and having stuffed animals makes you a beta, then Sneako
Beta.
is a massive fucking beta. Sneako
Beta.
also made fun of Anna Marie Forcino for saying that she had experienced trauma.
People who struggle mentally as a result of trauma, you fucking basic assholes!
However, Sneako has talked about how he has trauma from watching other men fuck his girlfriend at a sex party.
And my girl's right here, and she's like, and I'm like, oh, yo, I'm like feeling traumatic thoughts, like seeing her. I was literally having PTSD watching that. I was like having.
I'm so sorry. Oh, God. Wow, I was not expecting that. Holy fuck. I'm so sorry. I actually almost shit my pants. Wow. Jesus Christ. Bro, I wasn't expecting this. This is it. This. Holy fuck. Okay. Well, wow. That's a good point. That's a good point, Ryan. It's a good point there, buddy. Holy shit. It's fucking insane.
War flash.
According
Yeah,
to
it's weird. That never comes up on Fresh and Fit. Yeah, I guess.
Sneako, trauma is only valid if someone has gone to war.
What, you're 18 in trauma? What, you didn't go to war?
But as far as I know, watching another man fuck your girlfriend wouldn't classify as going to war. I mean,
See, those guys are going to war with their pussy, I'll tell you that. If it was that traumatizing. Oh, shit.
you did watch his battleship enter her harbor, so that's kind of like going to war, I guess. Look,
you watched them. Well, it was multiple guys. So the Hiroshima and the Nagasaki. Wait, you get where I'm going with this really insensitive joke, right? Because I feel like I can't complete the joke, so complete it for me.
Sneako, I think
Just like those guys completed Sneako's girlfriend for him.
getting cucked is
sorry,
totally
Sneako. That's a little mean. I'm sorry, brother. I hope I didn't trigger you. Hope I didn't trigger your PTSD there, brother. Truly.
valid if that's what you're into. But under your alpha male worldview, getting cucked is not valid. You like to praise Andrew Tate a lot on your channel. Well, all I'm gonna say is that if I was looking for an alpha male role model and I had to choose between a multimillionaire who isn't a cuck and a mid-tier YouTuber who is a cuck, I think I know who I would choose. Aw, is it predictable that I'm emasculating you right now? Well, maybe you should remind me that I'm fat and ugly. That'll get me real good, Sneako, you comedy legend. Sneako regularly talks about how we're living in the Matrix and we need to stop living our lives based on social programming.
The social programming bullshit, the shit that makes you bots. Stop falling into all these fucking little categories that they lay out for you. Stop trying to classify your personality with a bunch of bullshit, bro. You look goofy, bro.
But then he attacks any man who doesn't follow his exact definition of masculinity.
True.
If you really want people to stop following social programming, then stop trying to socially program every man into following your view of masculinity. If someone wants to be a traditional...
It's a good point. I mean, like, he operates on a traditionalist view of what masculinity is, which is basically forcing people to identify into like a particular space. So by him doing that, he is a bot. He's just a bot for another person. He's not exactly a free thinker. So a good point, yeah.
Masculine man, that is absolutely fine. But what is not fine is shaming men when they do things that aren't traditionally masculine, like wearing makeup or nail polish. If you want men to be free from social programming, then let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. Sneako will say 1 second that what he's doing isn't bullying and harassment.
Am I a bad person or am I just loud? I'm not harassing and bullying.
But then the next second, he'll say that we do need to bring bullying back and that what he's doing is bullying.
Bring bullying back. Bullying is necessary or else you turn into this dude. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're desirable. Bro, like, a little bit of bullying is necessary. Chad, I just want to bully this guy. Like,
I'm not harassing and bullying.
Sneako, don't you think that bullying people would qualify as social programming? Because what you're doing is shaming people if they don't follow the social roles that you have determined are correct. Sneako claims that anyone who disagrees with him is a bot or is brainwashed.
You're a bot.
By calling everyone that he disagrees with bots, Sneako implies that they couldn't have possibly arrived at their opinions through logic and reason. They had to have arrived at them because they were manipulated. Sneako, if you really have truth and logic on your side, you should be able to debunk your opponent's arguments. You shouldn't need to rely on dehumanizing them and saying that they only have their opinions because they were manipulated. Obviously, it's true that a lot of people manipulate other people, but if you want to claim that you found
it kind of seems like in Sneako, if that experience was so traumatic with his girlfriend, which I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I could never, because he said he loved that girl, and I personally could never watch my wife fuck anybody else or even let her. But if that's true, if that really fucked him up as bad as I think it would, then like, how do we not know that this isn't just like programming from that experience? Like he's just coping so hard on that experience that he just feels the need to like have this interaction, you know?
The real truth and you're not actually manipulating your audience, you need to back that up with evidence, which you do not do. Sneako says that he thinks liberals make extremely boring content and that his content is funny and entertaining. Yet if you actually watch Sneako's videos, you realize that he says the same thing over and over and over and over again. I wouldn't be...
Me too. What's a popular line is the popular hit, the popular hit character from the popular hit video game Among Us. I say that in every video. Yeah.
Surprised if Sneako has called people bots 100,000 times by now.
These people are just genuine bots. Bots. Anyone who's in a mall is a bot. You're a bot. Bots. Bots. You're a bot. Bots. I became a bot.
To me, I find content entertaining when people say a variety of things and mix up the words that they use. But I guess for the smooth-brained people who enjoy Sneako's content, saying the same thing a million fucking times is entertaining to them. Sneako will also criticize left-leaning...
People do tend to like repetition in some capacity. But they prefer like fresh repetition, you know?
People's content for being too long.
Which is like basically you're looking at like, oh, it's a symbol, it's like a, oh, it's another video, but it's like the same, it's like another episode of Dragon Ball Z. We all want to see that moment where, you know, Goku gets the fuck beaten out of him to the point where like he's getting his ass beat, but then he ends up like turning it around and then fucking hitting a new power barrier, you know, or breaking through a new power barrier.
51-minute video, damn Destiny.
Which makes absolutely no sense because Sneako will regularly post videos that are over an hour long of him just rambling the same thing over and over again. Sneako might even criticize this video for being too long. Sneako, this video is so long because you say so much dumb shit that it takes a long time to debunk it. If you want,
I like long videos, bro. They make the most money, I'll tell you that.
My videos to be shorter, then stop saying so much dumb shit. A few more examples of Sneako being hypocritical is how when the YouTuber Brandon Buckingham made a joke about having sex with Sneako's girlfriend.
Yeah. I feel bad for Brandon. I've been talking to him a bit in his actually, now you guys are saying something, I'm going to reach out to him. But I feel bad. I don't think he released that video about Sneako yet. I think that whole situation really frustrated him. So like, you know, I could see on social media he's like a bit irritated, a bit frustrated. You know, I feel bad for him, bro. But Sneako definitely did him dirty.
Sneako accused
So here's what happened.
Brandon Buckingham made a
So in the thing, he basically said, I'll read it. The whole come watch me lick shots on your busted ass girlfriend. Whole gang is gonna run the train on her like she asked us to last time I was in town. I know you love controversy and beef. How do you like this pressure? So basically what happened is that like Brandon was in Sneako's like DM. He's like, oh, do you want to do a fight? Yes, a few other people. Sneako felt like he was cock riding him a little too hard, which is fair. Maybe he was. And then so Sneako, so Brandon, like this was a bit of a disproportionate reaction, and Brandon understands that. I know that he knows that. He got very frustrated. He made this like reaction, calling him out, calling him like basically a bitch, and he's gonna like, you know, fuck his girlfriend like she wanted to, et cetera, et cetera. And then Sneako's original reaction was like, yeah, he's just trying to disrespect me like the way that like he feels disrespected. Actually, a very mature take. However, and that's his first take. However, later on, Sneako was on a stream with somebody and constantly saying like, oh, he literally threatened to rape my girlfriend. So that's a massive hypocrisy, especially since he's constantly saying that like people in general should be punished for false allegations. But I agree. If you can prove it's false, it can be very difficult to prove it's false. But for sure, I absolutely agree. It's always a bad thing when there's a false allegation. It hurts real victims. And yet, what is he doing? He's doing the same thing. I think that's the largest level of hypocrisy ever. And I frankly think it's very disgusting. Sexual assault is a very serious thing. False accusations are just as serious. So like. That's a massive fuck up, and you know you don't even feel that way. You don't even actually feel like it was like a legitimate call to assault your girlfriend. Because you've already like your initial reaction was not that was just not that. It was understanding that he's just trying to be disrespectful. So yeah, seems very performative and dishonest for me.
Joke about having sex with Sneako's girlfriend. Sneako accused Brandon of making an R-word threat against his girlfriend.
And he said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend, bro. Bro literally said, I'm gonna R-word your girlfriend.
But when Sneako joked about violently having sex with the YouTuber Chad,
yeah, come here, shut the fuck up with your
friend.
Shut up, Chad.
Yeah, that's not him. Listen, I'm always gonna maintain that he's not joking about him violently doing anything like that. That is to Sneako that he's saying that this girl doesn't know what like real penis is or whatever, so he's gonna give her like a real fucking, and then it's like it's simulating like more hardcore encounter. That's what that is. It's not like simulating like rape. It's just not. That's just not. I don't think that's a reasonable interpretation of what's actually happening in that situation. So I want to bring that up as well for context.
Fuck up. Yeah.
He said that it was all just a joke and it shouldn't be taken seriously. So I guess you think that when Brandon Buckingham makes sex jokes, it's a serious R-word threat. But when you make sex jokes, we should all know that it's completely harmless and
fair.
Not see it as sexual harassment.
That's actually a good point, though. That's actually a reasonable point there. That like if he's going to interpret it as an actual threat, then like yeah, by Sneako's own logic, he actually did do that thing. I guess that's true. But
internet has fucked people's heads up. They just say shit.
Yeah, come here, shut the fuck up with your feminism. Shut up, Chad.
People have lost basic respect. You don't do that.
Another thing, you criticized KSI because he had OnlyFans models on his show, and you think OnlyFans is destroying society.
But then he... Okay, hold on. Let's see where it goes with this.
I think that's messed up. I think it's messed up to promote...
It's funny. I don't know if it was Sneako or if it was like Fresh and Fit, but they were like running defense for Andrew Tate doing a webcam farm. It's like, no, it's different. It's okay if he does it, even though it's destroying society. It's...
Prawn and OnlyFans to kids.
Yet you have praised Andrew Tate for profiting off of OnlyFans models.
Yep.
We were making $2 million a year. $2.5 million a year.
Internet pimps, because they realize the game. Yeah, I really want to do this. Chat, WL, if I become an internet pimp, I feel like I can manage these OnlyFans girls. But I think that's messed up. I think it's messed up to
promote. You couldn't even manage your own girl, so let's relax, okay?
Promote prawn and OnlyFans to kids.
Which to me makes it seem like you don't actually have a strong moral conviction against OnlyFans. You're just weaponizing this as fake moral outrage against people like KSI who you don't like. Sneako, I'm not sure you have the logical capacity to understand all the ways you keep contradicting yourself, but maybe just try to stop criticizing other people for the exact same things that you do yourself. Next, we'll look at the fallacy of hasty generalization, which is drawing a conclusion based on a small sample size rather than looking at statistics that are much more in line with the typical or average situation. Sneako will regularly make judgments about women that are based in his own anecdotal experiences rather than being based in reality. For example, one justification Sneako gives for why he thinks feminism is bad is because it makes every single girl in the West believe in astrology.
Where do you hear all this feminist stuff?
Every day from every single girl. Astrology,
like
every
online?
single girl in the West believes in bullshit-ass astrology. Every single one.
However, in reality, only 30% of women in America believe in astrology, and 25% of men in America believe in astrology. Only 5% more women believe in astrology than men do, and you can't even prove
really?
that feminism is the reason.
True?
Only 5% America believe in
Women 30% are slightly more likely to say they believe in astrology than men are. White Americans are somewhat less likely to say the stars and planets predict how other black and Hispanic are. Interesting. I wonder what they're classifying as astrology, but I feel like it's so interesting because like astrology is just kind of some spiritual bullshit. And Sneako is in, like, he keeps saying I'm not really religious, I'm like spiritual, but like, you know, you kind of believe in the same thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
in astrology, and 25% of men in America believe in astrology. Only 5% more women believe in astrology than men do, and you can't even prove that feminism is the reason these women believe in astrology. So this entire argument is based on a hasty generalization, not based in reality. But even if feminism somehow made a huge percentage of women believe in astrology, this would still not be a valid argument against equality for women. Personally, I don't believe in astrology because I don't think there's any evidence to support it. But in America, we have this.
Hey, you never know, bro. You never know. All I'm gonna say is something. I think something exists. I don't know if it's God or something. I hope, or at least I hope it does. You never know, man. What if these rocks do have powers? I mean, we have the look. We have these. I don't know. We're the only known creature to have this level of like cognitive function. I don't know, bro. What if? You never fucking know, dude. You never know. I mean, maybe it doesn't, but I like to think so. Maybe it's just a cope. Maybe it's just like religion is, you know, to hope that this isn't everything and that there's more to life. But you never know.
Thing called religious freedom, which means that we shouldn't look down on other people just because they have different spiritual or religious beliefs than us. I strongly disagree with many spiritual and religious beliefs, but I don't think the people who hold those beliefs are inferior to me just because of their beliefs. Next, Sneako says that 92% of women are thoughts, and only 8% of women aren't thoughts.
But like, not all women are thoughts, most of them are.
No.
8% aren't.
And he bases this off of field research, which is another way of saying anecdotal evidence. However, in reality, 35% of women Sneako's age have had one or less sexual partner in their lifetime. So unless you're really going to make the argument that women who have...
And then it gets into what is a thought. The better question is, and this is something that's interesting, that it seems that Sneako's almost gaslit himself into thinking that he's correct, and I want to explain why. So Sneako used to do these on-the-street things, right? One thing that people really need to understand about on-the-street content, on-the-street style content is you going out and you're looking for an answer. That's what it is. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So if you're going out looking for a woman that, you know, is a thought in some capacity, you're going to go out for hours. Let's say you go out for 4 hours, not unreasonable. And then you're going to make 10 minutes worth of content. So you're out on the street for 4 hours, but somehow you only manage to get 10 minutes worth of content with a select few girls that are like, oh, that might be thoughts, let's say. And so then after that, you construct your video because you already have this idea of the world that you want to present. And then you use this video to reference that this is how the world is. Right? So you understand how that kind of like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, or maybe it's not the right term, but it's not an accurate way to operate on this. There are women who are thoughts. There are men who are thoughts. I don't even know how you would define one. I think Sneako might have said in our conversation, correct me if I'm wrong, that like the body count doesn't necessarily matter. But I don't really remember. Maybe it was like 10 or less or something. But yeah. And then also you're talking to people that are your age. Yeah, confirmation bias is much better. Yeah, that's a good point. People your age are not super smart, usually. I'm just not trying to be an asshole. I know I wasn't super smart at that age, and I know a lot of other people that aren't particularly like super intelligent at the age of 20, 22, 23. Nowadays, people are still babies when they're not babies, but they're still, you know, they haven't experienced the world when they're still 20, 22, 23. And somebody who grew up on the internet and is financially, you know, affluent, I'd say, or I don't know if it's the right word, but financially stable, or, you know, financially whatever, like Sneako, is my understanding that he went to a private school, just like Eminem has said. I don't know, but I think he grew up pretty well off. You're not going to really see the same maturity or growth as a lot of other people. It's kind of the reality. I mean, like, for real, privilege really stunts like a maturity. So yeah,
have only slept with one man are thoughts, then your argument is again not based in reality. Personally, I do not believe that the number of sexual partners a person has had makes them any more or less deserving of equality, but if Sneako does believe this, he should at least use accurate statistics to back up his argument.
Sure,
Sneako also says that no women want to have a fully equal relationship.
No woman wants to be in an equal relationship. Women are submissive. They're here to nurture and we're here to provide.
However, based
Well, here's the thing. There might see this is the problem with like equal. How do we define equality? The way that we define equality is that we look at somebody and they're just an equal person, but they don't have to be perfectly equal. Okay? If I looked at somebody who made half the amount of money that I did and they're like, they're whatever field doing whatever, I wouldn't be like that person is less than me because he makes less money. That's an ignorant, dumb fuck perspective to have. There are tons of factors in when it comes to different people. Everybody gets equal opportunity. It's I guarantee you that Sneako would say like, yeah, you should treat the fucking you should treat the janitor the same as you treat the CEO. You know what I mean? Like you should give all people respect because like all this equality is different. There's financial, then there's also like how are you beneficial to society, et cetera, blah, 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 blah. And so like it's really weird. Now, do I think that women tend to favor a more submissive power dynamic in relationships? Yeah, probably. Maybe part of that's socialized, and then there's probably part of it's biological. But the argument is to give people the equal opportunity to be in a relationship that they want to be in. Like if a woman wants to be in a relationship where they are the more dominant figure, and a guy wants to be in that same relationship with her, then who gives a fuck? That's what it's about, right? And then you do different things that are supposed to amount to what you in a relationship contract consider equal. Oh, hey, I'll work and make more money. Maybe you'll work an easier job and you'll make less money, but then you'll cook and clean and this, that, and the other thing. And then maybe you'll do this and like you'll generally allocate things, but it's up to what the relationship is okay with, right? So for instance, my wife works. I work. My wife does most of the cooking, most of the cleaning, all that shit. But I help her when she asks me to do stuff. Most of the time. Sometimes I forget. Point is that like just because somebody has a different divvies up their time differently or divvies up their responsibilities differently doesn't mean that you're respecting them less. Okay, they are consensually agreeing to the relationship dynamic. Yeah, our wife, you're right. It's just such a very childish perspective on relationships that Sneako has. And it really just is. And I think he should spend less time melting down on the internet, yelling and screaming and being like really terminally online. Because I guarantee you, Sneako does not stop obsessing about the internet when he's off the internet. I guarantee you that Sneako doesn't stop thinking about the internet when he's offline. And that is the most toxic thing you could ever do. And he should focus less on just being terminally online and focus more on developing a life where he goes out and dates women and experiences them and finds out what he wants in a woman. And just go based off of what he feels good with. Sneako seems to have been with a very limited amount of women. The last one that he was with seems to have really upset him. He's probably somewhat maybe traumatized in some capacity. Definitely turned off to women heavily. Not that I'm not saying he's gay, but because he was hurt so bad by a woman. And I think it's time to maybe get back out there, experience more women, experience the world, because it sounds like your ex is the woman you think all women are, and that's really sad. And I think it is also, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm just going to be very blunt, I think it's very weak to have a bad experience with one person and then decide that every other person is just like that. The way that Sneako interacts with women is the same way that racist white people interact with racist black people. Oh, well, you have one idea about one person because of a potential personal experience where they were bad to you, and now all of a sudden everybody's just like that. It's the same thing with that. Okay, it really is. Is he dating his ex again? Oof. No, he's not back with that girl, is he? Wow. Okay, well, good luck to you, brother. Good luck to you.
Based on polling data, 68% of Americans say
I'm just going to tell you from experience, going back to an ex never works out. You broke up for a reason. That doesn't just go away. It's it's an edge case. It's an outlier for that to actually happen. But you do your thing, brother. Maybe you're the outlier.
Do prefer a fully equal relationship. So you have to have a pretty massive
question.
Percent of
majorities across the globe prefer an egalitarian relationship. Okay. Both work and take care of the home. Okay, interesting.
Americans say they do prefer a fully equal relationship.
So like, okay, I'm just gonna be a little bit of a contrarian here. Okay, so this says that more people in the Canada and the United States. So that's not I don't think that's everybody, but it says that a much higher percentage of them prefer a household where both the husband and the wife take care of the children and work. And the other one is like the traditional relationship. There's going to be a large social factor there where there's not enough money to like go around where you could even support a more traditional relationship. So I would expect that to kind of like twist the statistics a little bit. I would imagine if there were better, more high-paying jobs that allowed like one person to stay home, you'd see more people prefer the one person to stay at home. Like right now, I would prefer it if my wife just didn't work anymore and she just stayed home and cooked and cleaned and took care of everything and all that. And she's definitely like onto the idea too. But right now, like we're not at the space where we feel financially comfortable enough to do it. With that, so like, you know, and we do much better than most people, but like we want to maintain, you know, we really want to have like a more benefit, like a more luxurious lifestyle. So you know, so not for a while, but we would, you know. But I think a lot of people like they're like, yeah, I would prefer this relationship because like they need to, you know.
So you have to have a pretty massive ego to claim that you somehow know that 68% of Americans are lying or have been brainwashed when they say they prefer an equal relationship. If a couple chooses to have a more traditional relationship where the man takes more financial responsibility and the woman takes more responsibility of the home, I think that's fine. But I do not think it is fine to shame people who want non-traditional relationships. Again, it's incredibly ironic that Sneako says he wants to wake people up from social programming while simultaneously trying to program everyone into only wanting traditional relationships.
Bro.
People are not monoliths. Some people want traditional relationships, some people want non-traditional relationships.
Let me tell you, dude, I'm built like a monolith. I don't know if that joke went over some people's head. It's a monolith. It's like a large structure, like this. So the joke is I'm very big and tall. By the way, that store expensive, but also I don't know, bro. Hasn't been hitting lately, but they got rid of it. Anyway, keep going.
Responding to this by saying that people have been brainwashed into wanting
The joke was mid. Fuck you. You make a joke. Miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
non-traditional relationships is not a coherent argument, because I can just as easily claim that you're trying to brainwash people into wanting traditional relationships. You're gonna need some evidence that these people are actually being brainwashed, or your argument is meaningless. Sneako also claims that non-traditional relationships where the marriages are equal are the reasons for high divorce rates.
They want to look up and respect their man. If you're equal, they don't respect you, they'll leave you.
But divorce rates have actually been steadily declining since the 1980s.
Is that true? I'm gonna have to look into that.
They don't respect you, they'll leave you.
But divorce rates have actually been steadily declining.
Well, you don't have to make more money than somebody for them to respect you. It's just a dumb thing to think that everything is. The problem is you think that everything is financially driven.
Since the 1980s. And many sociologists make the
it
argument
hit the 50-year all-time low. Interesting. I think a lot of it has to do with like financial aspects, like not having enough like access to money because the top 1% is siphoning it out of us. Of course, you're going to see an increase with like the lack of religion as well. But a lot of times people they only stay together because they're forced into relationships. And then I imagine that like there was, some people don't want to be in like the problem with traditional relationships, the problem that can arise is there can be aspects where the person with the higher power dynamic, the one that makes more money, could take advantage of the other person. It's like, I have the money, I make the rules, not much you could do about it, blah, 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 blah. That's why a lot of women are like, yeah, I'd rather work so that I don't have to be attached to this person, right? So you expect to see more people staying together. Doesn't mean that they're happy, though.
Argument that this spike in divorce rates leading up to the 1980s was caused by women finally being able to leave abusive marriages, because in the past women were stuck in these abusive marriages because women had no financial freedom and because divorce was heavily stigmatized.
You know what else is interesting? A lot of times, like red pill people will resort to two arguments: that women engage in divorces at a higher rate, which they do, 70% to 30%, and that women that make more money than the man in the relationship see an increased rate of divorce. That I think is initiated by the woman. Two things, though. One, let's just talk about the traditional relationship. In a traditional relationship, if you're somebody that's making money, but they also acknowledge this, that men for some reason should biologically be able to cheat on women because they're attuned to do so. So acknowledging that argument, it's reasonable to say that maybe a good amount of those divorces come from men cheating on the woman, and then of course the woman's going to initiate the divorce. Additionally, men in relationships tend to make more money than women overall, which is something that red pillars would also agree with. And so if you're making more money, and let's say you have the financial resources to go out and cheat, et cetera, the woman in the relationship would need to initiate the divorce or a legal separation so that they could potentially get some form of like alimony or some kind of a payment so they can move the process along. So yeah, when it comes to alimony, I also I agree with it, only because if you're going to take like 20 years out of your life to be with somebody in a relationship, you're putting your life on hold. You can't really generate too much as that. So if you're gonna if you make the relationship contract for one person to work, one person to stay at home, you're stunting your own growth. So of course they should walk out of that without being completely fucked. That being said, now referring to the relationships where women initiate divorce higher than men, or disproportionately higher when they make more money, it's also important to note that men cheat at a rate of 3 times more in a relationship where the woman makes more money than them. So, like, I'm not saying that it's man's fault or a woman's fault. I'm just saying that for context, there's a lot of different factors that go on into this situation. So...
The relationship between the rate of gender equality and the rate of divorce is a very complex and hotly debated topic in the field of sociology. But rather than take the time to research this complex topic, Sneako just claims that more gender equality leads to more divorce, when this is not the case. When asked why Sneako thinks the patriarchy is the best...
Again, it might. I feel like back in the day, like 50 years ago, what it meant to be a good husband and a good father was to go make money for your kids and not really do much else outside of that. And women were expected to provide like all the emotional support and whatnot, you know. Outside of a few stern words, of course, the father was still present. Yeah, they didn't beat their wives. Even if they did, they weren't so bad, right? Nowadays, there's a higher responsibility on the men to be more like emotionally providing for their kids and be more active in their kids' lives. And I think that shift probably changed divorce, the higher expectation on men and whatnot. You know, I'm not trying to shit on all men because, like, you know, work back then was also pretty tough too. But I'm not trying to shit or anything, you know. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of factors to potentially consider. How the dynamic has changed around what's a good father, what's a good mother, you know, whatnot. So...
system, the best response Sneako could muster is, because women make no sense. Now, obviously it's true that some women aren't going to make sense because some women are unintelligent.
Yeah, because some women don't work. How are you going to make sense? You get it? It's a money joke. It's funny.
Like some men are unintelligent, but all of the data shows that men and women are equally intelligent. Decades of research show that there are no gender differences in IQ. Studies actually show...
I think it shows that like women are more consistently intelligent, whereas like men tend to be more intelligent, like, and less intelligent. Like there's a wider gap between those two things. Yeah, I don't know. And then I think the smartest person in the world with the highest IQ is a woman. So it's just interesting. That could be a socialized factor. It really depends. You know, more women also have been going to college than men. So, you know, since we're in the age of choosing, that might be a factor as well. Your IQ goes up like anywhere from like 1 to 5 points, I think, just from going to college and like obviously going through that experience. And it goes up more and more for every year you complete. So
that men tend to overestimate their intelligence and women tend to underestimate their intelligence because of the untrue stereotype that men are more intelligent than women.
What I do is I overestimate my intelligence and underestimate my wife's intelligence. And what ends up happening is that basically I'm bullying her into thinking she's dumber than she actually is, and she'll never leave me. That's what you need to do in a relationship. You need to bully your partner into thinking they're dumb and that they need you so they never leave you. This is how you successfully gaslight and manipulate the person that you're with into being with you forever. Smart tactic. Some of you guys could learn a lot from me.
I could go on for hours about the generalizations Sneako makes that aren't based in reality, like how the more dick women take, the more insane they get.
The more dicks the girls take, the more insane they get, the more crazy they become, the more toxic they get.
I haven't seen any peer-reviewed studies showing a correlation between taking dick and insanity, but I'm sure Sneako has some solid evidence to back that up that he just hasn't shown us yet. The point is, when you base your entire worldview off of a...
I do wonder what he means by that, like the more sex that a woman engages in, the crazier she gets. I just don't know where that's root. I wonder, because there's not an argument. I need like a deeper argument than that. Like, do you think that they think that they're too good for some men because there's a lot of sexual selection for them, so they think that they're better than they actually are? I could rock with the conversation about that. But I don't really understand the fundamental, you know?
Assumptions, anecdotal observations, and generalizations instead of basing it off of data and empirical evidence, you're gonna end up looking like an absolute fucking moron. These days, it is more important than ever to fact-check the information you see online
What is this?
to know the biases of online
That's
news
what they had.
sources. Social media companies
What is
and
this?
dishonest news outlets are incentivized to spread misinformation because oftentimes the most sensationalized stories are the ones that get the most clicks.
True.
That's why today's sponsor, Ground News, has been so helpful to me. Ground News is the world's first news comparison platform, which helps you spot media bias by giving you a visual breakdown of different news sources and where they fall on the political spectrum. You can also swipe between headlines to see how the same story is being
This is so interesting because a long time ago on TikTok, I did an ad for something like this. I forget what it was called. I wish I remembered. And it did this exact same thing, but it wasn't called Ground News. It was called something else. It's called like Both Sides or something. I don't remember what it was. Interesting.
covered by left, center, and right news sources. Another super helpful tool is the ability to check your blind spots, which tells you which news stories are being underreported by the left or the right.
Yeah, I think it was the Both Sides political app. I think this is the same thing. I thought it came first. Huh. Wow. Which one is the original one? I wonder. Interesting. How do I even know when it comes out or when it came out first? Huh. Version history. This came out March 4th, 2022. What is this called? Ground penis?
Your blind left, center. You can also the world's first news comparison based on Times or Ground News. Story is being covered by left, center, and right news sources. Another super helpful tool is the ability to check your blind spots, which tells you which news stories are being underreported by the left or the right. Ground News has been super helpful to me because it helps me get a more well-rounded view on these complex issues that we face as a society, and it helps me to see past the misinformation that often gets spread on social media. So go to ground.news/MrBeard or click the link in my bio to try Ground News absolutely free, or you can subscribe and get all of these amazing features. Your support will help a small team of media outsiders who are working to make the news more transparent. Thank you again.
Well, we don't need more trans people in the news, Ryan. Ryan, relax, okay? We already have enough trans people. I'm tired of it, all right? Every fucking where I look, I'm getting horny. I can't handle it anymore.
Ground News. The next logical fallacy we'll look at is the appeal to tradition. Appealing to tradition is using historical preferences of the people as evidence that the historical preference is correct. Traditions are often passed from generation to generation with no explanation besides this is the way it has always been done, which is not a reason, it is an absence of a reason.
Which logically means that racism is good. Just want you to know, like, that's fundamental. Because, like, we used to do slavery, so slavery good. Dad used to, must be good. Like, I like racism, like slavery. Very pogger. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much the logic there.
Sneako claims that patriarchal societies are the best because societies have always been patriarchal for the entire history of the world.
Society has been patriarchal for the history of the world.
Claiming that the patriarchy is the best system simply because it's the way societies have been run throughout history is a logical fallacy. You could use this same logical fallacy to justify something like slavery.
Yep.
Well, slavery was seen as completely fine for most of human history. Only in the past few hundred years has slavery been seen as bad, so therefore, slavery must be good. As society...
I mean, with Sneako's association and, like, really, fence running, really, of Nick Fuentes, I mean, I honestly wouldn't doubt that he would be like, yeah, you know what, that makes sense. I really wouldn't.
Society has progressed, we've realized that generally, black people don't like being owned by white people.
Well,
generally, women...
I disagree. I disagree with that, Ryan. So fucking dumb.
Women don't like being owned by men. Now, if a woman
True.
consensually decides to enter into a relationship...
Wait, what did you just say?
Women don't like is that generally, black people don't like being owned by white people, and generally, women don't like being owned by men.
Listen, some women like being owned by me. That's all I'm going to tell you, brother.
Now, if a woman consensually decides to enter into a relationship where she takes more of a submissive or traditional role, that is fine. But it is not fine to force women into this type of relationship,
True.
which
I
Sneako
agree.
claims that he wants to do because he wishes the laws for women in America were more like they are in Saudi Arabia.
Nice.
You know where women have the least rights? You know where women couldn't drive until like 3 years ago? Saudi Arabia doing well though. They're doing pretty well. The more this
How is Saudi Arabia doing well? I'm curious. I mean, maybe they're doing better than they used to in some capacity, but wasn't there a massive progressive shift in Saudi Arabia for like years? And like it's only recently changing because of like a regime shift. I'm a little uneducated on what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm asserting that as a fact. So you could fact check me on that. I would appreciate it if you did. That's my understanding. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong.
patriarchy.
But still, Western countries, by all objective measures, are doing better. Quality of life, money, blah blah blah. So you argue, like, you know, by logic, this is much better. Like, you know, not shitting on women is much better.
The more patriarchy, the more society kind of runs how it's supposed to run.
I'm sure women just love when men have such an irrational hatred towards them that they wish they were living under an authoritarian dictatorship. Sneako says that feminism is garbage that has only been promoted for the last 30 years in America.
Okay. This is feminist shit for the past 30 years in America. Every other country's laughing at that.
The feminist movement started in 1848, which was 174 years ago, not 30, and these 12 countries actually rank higher than America when it comes to equal rights for women under the law. So I have no idea what the fuck...
Is it? Wow. Greece? The age of consent there's like 15. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. Although I guess it's not a woman's right. That's just a general right. Genital rights.
Higher than America.
You know, I didn't know Luxembourg was its own country. I thought it was like a state. I kind of thought it was like a car in like the UK. I'm American. My education.
When it comes to equal rights for women under the law. So I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about when he says that feminism only exists in America. Sneako, if you really think that the patriarchy is the best system, you need more to back that up than this is the way it's always been, because that is a logical fallacy. Next, let's look at the appeal to
it sounds like a city.
Nature fallacy. The belief or suggestion that natural is better than unnatural based on its naturalness. Many people adopt this as a default belief. It is the belief that what is natural must be good and what is unnatural must be bad.
Well, it depends on how you define natural. Like a lot of times, like natural diets are probably better for you, you know, more natural things. But yeah, I mean, technology is definitionally, I'd say, unnatural, and that's how we're all working right now. Myself, Ryan Beard, and Sneako. So logically, non-natural things we would have to agree are great. You know, I have an Among Us air conditioner behind me. It's great. You know, it's crazy. And in fact, when climate change really starts to impact the world, the countries that are going to hit it the worst are poor countries that can't afford basic things like air conditioning or temperature conditioning, which is going to fuck them over. Heat waves are going to kill a lot of people. You know.
Sneako also believes that the patriarchy is good because it's natural.
And that's natural, that's biology.
Okay.
So when we go against our natural biology, something is wrong.
Just because males tend...
And it's like a dumb argument to go, like, how far do we go? Like, let's be absolutely honest here. So biologically, men tend to, or statistically, men are much more likely to sexually assault than women. So does that mean, like, well, it's biological. It seems to be something that men feel like they have access to. So should it be okay? I don't think Sneako would say yes to that, right? Like, that would be kind of stupid. It's just a dumb thing.
To dominate females in nature doesn't make it morally good. You could use this logical fallacy to justify something like cannibalism. In nature, animals kill and eat their own kind all the time. Our closest relatives, the chimpanzees, practice cannibalism, so how could cannibalism possibly be wrong? It's
What's the difference between a chimpanzee and an orangutan? I thought it was orangutan because of the tang orange flavoring. Just wondering.
Natural. Saying that cannibalism is wrong goes against our basic biology. Now, it is true that across human societies, men tend to take more dominant roles and women tend to take more submissive roles. Whether this is more due to nature or nurture is hotly debated amongst...
Well, I think that it's pretty known that there's a definite nature aspect to it. There's also going to be nurture. There's going to be like biological and environmental aspects to it. The thing is that it's very clear that I would say probably 0% of women like to be in an abusive relationship, which absolutely can be derived from that traditional marriage. That's why we have, or traditional relationship. That's why we have robust laws to try to help people being abused, right? That's why we created laws like alimony, so that people didn't feel like they were forced to be with somebody that had a substantial financial power dynamic over it, right? Like, that's why we implemented these protections. And a lot of people, a lot of women, I would guarantee you, would feel more comfortable being in the submissive role with a man, and maybe even like it exclusively because there are so many protections that allow them to be able to escape if they needed to, right? Rather than being in a situation where like, oh, you're forced to be into that situation. Right? Even when we get into like the concept of divorce shaming, that's also like another thing that would condition somebody to be like, I can't leave this person, even if they're treating them like absolute dog shit, right? So
scientists and sociologists. But as I've said multiple times, it's fine to take traditional gender roles if that's what works best for you. The problem comes when you shame people who live outside of those gender roles and try to force them into submission. If you genuinely care about freedom, which Sneako claims to care about, then you should let every human being live their life in a way that brings them the most fulfillment as long as they're not hurting others. Also, his claim that all animals are patriarchal isn't even true.
okay, so
Every single one, every animal.
There are many societies in nature that are matriarchal. Lemurs, ants, meerkats, mole rats, spotted hyenas, lions, bonobos, elephants, killer whales, and honeybees, for example. In nature, societies tend to be dominated by whichever sex is larger and stronger, because of something known as sexual dimorphism. And in these matriarchal societies, oftentimes the females are larger than the males.
well, that would probably make him, he would be able to walk on that and say like, well, yeah, but men are larger and stronger, so logically nature says that we should be the domineering gender or whatever, because we are, you know what I mean? Like that actually supports, like strengthens his argument in that capacity. So
However, human society has evolved to the point where strength and size are not the only metrics that give humans worth, and I have not seen any evidence that the quality of human life is improved by giving all of the power in society to the people who are physically strongest. Quite the contrary. Giving men the majority of power throughout history has led to incredibly high rates of violence against women and men committing 90% of violent crimes, which are some of the many reasons I promote an egalitarian society over a patriarchal one.
Oh yeah, Ryan? Well, I could beat you up. All I have to say. I win. I could beat you up, bro. Boom. We're done. I wonder if I could. I'm getting old. Getting real old now. I think I could still do it.
Sneako has also said that women shouldn't be leaders because women are more emotional than men.
You think more critically, she thinks emotionally, she thinks with her pussy, she bleeds once a month, she makes no sense.
Okay.
This is also not true.
A lot of
Studies show that men and women experience equal levels of emotion. Men just tend
For sure, men just tend to, like, it filters out through, like, more anger, and women probably in some other way, like crying and being annoying and, like, not then telling me that they want me to get off the computer and to come, like, lay with them and, you know, Jesus Christ, like, fuck, leave me alone. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it just manifests itself differently.
To express emotions like anger more often, and women tend to express emotions like sadness more often.
True.
Chad said in one of her videos that men and women experience equal levels of emotion, and Sneako's response to this was to challenge her to a fight?
Chad, me and you, we get in the cage. Who's winning in a fight? I'm just saying.
What does that matter?
For any guy in this chat, like, who's gonna win? Chad, your bangs aren't gonna protect you.
I'm not exactly sure how challenging a
I might have to watch that. What an unhinged response. I don't understand what... Okay.
woman to a fight proves that she's more emotional than you.
If anything, that proves that you're more emotional than her because you have to resort to like some kind of an emotional argument there. You can't be smarter than me because I could beat you up. It's like, oh, well, that's not really a logical argument. So if it's not a logical argument, then that means it's an emotional argument.
Physical strength and emotion aren't correlated in any way. So to me, this just proves that you're an angry man-child, which proves Chad's point that men are just as emotional as women. Next, we'll look at the logical fallacy.
That's when you move too fast through different points.
Which is overwhelming and
he's gonna probably bring up a clip of me. What's so funny is that I guess they would do this so much over and over again in the conversation, like Sneako and his friend, and I would try to be nice about it. I'd be like, hey guys, you're going a little too fast for me. I'm old, and they would be like, oh maybe you're dumb, and they would even though what I'm actually saying is you're really fucking stupid and you need to slow the fuck down and like let me speak, because it's clear that like you don't want to hear what I have to say. You're just like vomiting all over the place. So like chill the fuck out. But I'm trying to be nice about it. Hey guys, you're going a little too fast for me. Ha ha. Oh, you're an idiot. No, you're a fucking moron. You need to chill the fuck out so I can counter your points, because you don't want me to respond to them because you're gonna look stupid. You know. So yeah, I know the audience picked up on it. It's just like Jesus Christ. You know, it's fucking crazy.
with as many arguments as possible without regard for the accuracy or strength of the arguments. This is especially disingenuous when the opponent is not allowed to interrupt and address the arguments.
True.
Whenever Sneako argues, he gish gallops constantly. He will go on these long, unhinged rants without any care for the accuracy of the claims he's making. Like claiming that feminism has caused all women in the West to believe in astrology, or claiming that feminism is somehow linked to monkeypox.
It's indoctrination. They're giving them this idea. They're feeding them feminism to take away our power. And every day we're seeing it. That's why the fucking monkeypox is here.
And before his opponent has time to respond to these ridiculous claims, Sneako interrupts them, insults them, and then moves on to making more ridiculous claims.
Sure.
To the uneducated young men in Sneako's audience, this makes it appear like Sneako is winning the argument,
That's literally
simply because
me.
he's speaking louder and speaking more often. But anyone with a basic understanding of debate can see that Sneako is gish galloping.
I think that, like, to give credit to the audience watching, I think most people picked up on that as well. Like, it wasn't really working. He was just like constantly going, and people were like, wow, that was embarrassing. The best responses that Sneako got in that debate were like, he's really smart. You have to let other people talk and express themselves too, because you sound kind of dumb because of that. He's right about everything. He just doesn't know how to express himself. Like, those were the best arguments that people give. Like, they babied you was the best argument.
If you are truly confident of your arguments in a debate, then you should allow your opponent to respond to your arguments. If you don't give your opponent the chance to respond to your arguments, it gives off the impression that you don't actually believe in your arguments, and it makes you seem very insecure and cowardly.
True.
Next up is ad hominem. Ad hominem is attacking the person making the argument rather than the argument itself. Sneako also does this constantly. When I talked to Sneako, I brought up the point that just because someone is a leader in a relationship doesn't mean that the person they're leading is inferior to them. And Sneako gave this brilliant response.
I think every decent leader understands that, like, the people that they're leading are not less than them. I mean, that, like, if, like, put this into their perspective at, like, at work, say you're at work. If your boss acts and treats you like he's better than you, you don't respect that person. The best managers, the best bosses are always going to respect their people equally to them, and understanding that you just bring a different skill set and different task completion than the other person. It's the most effective leadership. I guarantee you Sneako would agree with that, or else he's just a complete moron. So, like, yeah, that's not a good idea in any capacity.
Because someone is leading someone else doesn't mean the person they're leading is inherently inferior.
Respectfully, do you get any pussy?
While roasting me for only getting pussy.
Sorry, it's kind of funny, but it's just so dumb. Respectfully. Sorry, I know it's problematic. But it's just like a dumb question, but it's kind of funny. It's a little funny. It's just a really unintelligent line to operate with.
Pussy from my girlfriend was an absolutely hilarious and very mature response. This was a deflection from having to actually respond to my argument. Rather than respond to my point, he decided to be a coward and insult me for something completely unrelated. From Sneako's perspective, I don't get to have an opinion on feminism because I don't sleep with as many women as him.
Don't talk about pussy if you don't know shit about pussy.
This is impeccable logic. From now on, the only people who can study sociology are the people who have fucked as many women as Sneako has. So if any of you watching want to become sociologists, you better start fucking. Later on, I criticized him because I find his humor incredibly boring and repetitive. For example, he's made the same joke about hating women's eyelashes hundreds of times. And his response to this was to act like I'm a fan of him because I had been watching his content.
You think it's funny to make the same joke 300 times?
I think it's funny.
Yeah, because you watched it 300 times, Goofy!
Sneako, it's my job to criticize people.
This isn't a child. This is a gnome. They're actually 10,000 years old. They only look like a 7-year-old, just like in the animes, okay? So don't worry.
If I've been watching a bunch of your content, it's probably because I think it's fucking terrible. Are you a fan of the people you've made more?
I mean, listen, Sneako wants to be popular. He wants people to hate farm off of him. That's why he constantly engages in, like, hateful content. So his response of, like, oh, you're just hate farming, you're overwatching me, like, that's your desired effect. That's the Andrew Tate effect. What's this suit doing? What are you doing with this, bro? Looks like Nicki Minaj. But you know, so it's one of those things where, like, you're being incredibly provocative. It feels like she's on drugs. You're being incredibly provocative, and then because you want people to watch you, you want yourself to spread. That's the only reason that you're spreading is because people are talking about you. Let's be absolutely honest. If people just ignored you, you'd probably go away. Then you criticize people for doing what you want them to do. I'm not understanding the logic there. You know.
Multiple videos criticizing, like H3 or Hassan?
Yeah, fuck
what a
those
stupid
guys.
fucking argument. I mean, yeah, maybe you put out low-effort response videos where you don't bother to do any research into the people you're criticizing, but I'm not that type of creator, and it is incredibly stupid to try to criticize me for doing my job and properly researching you. And because he had no valid response to my criticism of his boring, repetitive comedy, he decided to call me fat and ugly and insult my haircut.
Yeah, bro, you're fat, you got a shitty haircut. You can't tell me shit about my shit. You look ugly, bro. You look goofy here.
Look, maybe it's true that I'm
was I laughing there?
Shitty haircut. You can't tell me shit about my shit. You look ugly, bro. You look goofy here.
Look, maybe it's true that I'm fat and ugly and have a bad haircut, but resorting to playground insults instead of responding to my points is very immature. Especially because you've criticized people like Ethan Klein for using playground insults.
Like a fucking almost 50-year-old man has second grade level insults is the top of his comedic ability.
But don't worry.
Wow, really nay-naying yourself there, Sneako. Jesus Christ.
Sneako, when you do it, it's incredibly funny. Massive W in the chat.
W.
Next up is the identity fallacy. When one's argument is evaluated based on their physical or social identity, when the strength of the argument is independent of identity. Sneako claims that because I'm fat and because I only sleep with my girlfriend, that all of my opinions about health and feminism must be incorrect. This is a logical fallacy. How much fat I have on my body or how many women I've stuck my penis inside of has no bearing on whether my arguments are correct or incorrect. This is also known as appealing to identity politics. People like Sneako are usually against identity politics when it comes to things like women generalizing about men, but then they turn around and weaponize identity politics, especially against groups like fat people, women, and the LGBT community. If you think that I'm unhealthy and I don't get to have opinions on health because I'm unhealthy, then you, Sneako, as a man, don't get to have opinions on women because you're a man. Do you see how this?
Well, it's like saying like a drug addict wouldn't have the ability to talk about like not doing drugs, right? Like, I mean, I probably get. Well, it depends on who it is. Like if you like fat people like myself, like I understand that it's bad, so you could probably get some pretty decent insight onto it, especially to prevent other fat people from being fat. Because I notice a lot of like people who are like skinny. Oh, I thought it was gonna be like a legit PNG. Whatever. W. Anyway, a lot of skinny people that have never been fat before, they're like, you don't have to be fat. You don't have to be fat. A lot of times, like it comes from like probably like eating, like emotionally eating. Eating is like a way to cope with something, and like understanding that and like being aware of that can like really help people not eat all the time. It can be like helpful. You know, so like understanding that, like, yeah, it's to an extent, it's kind of an addiction, you could say. Like, you know, the sugar is, there's studies been done that like sugar is as addictive as like hard drugs. Obviously, meth is worse than sugar, but you get my point. You know, it could help from somebody, especially somebody who's skinnier that used to be fat. It's probably the best person that you could really talk to about all this stuff.
Works. The reality is, someone's race, body, gender, or sexuality has nothing to do with whether their arguments are correct or incorrect. Next is poisoning the well. Poisoning the well is committing a preemptive ad hominem attack against an opponent. That is, to prime your audience with adverse information about the opponent from the start in an attempt to make your claim more acceptable or discount the credibility of your opponent's claims. Sneako also loves to poison the well, especially by attacking women's appearances. In Sneako's response video to Chad, he starts the video by assuming all of her opinions will be incorrect because of the way her makeup looks.
True, though.
So what do you think her opinions are? She's got, oh my god, she's got the I'm woke bangs, the I have OnlyFans probably makeup, I sell my feet pictures to men makeup.
Logically, the way someone wears their makeup has nothing to do with the validity.
If it's based for men to take advantage of women by like having them basically pimp women out in some kind of webcam farm, then it's based for women to take advantage of men by selling them feet pics, right?
Of their arguments. But because Sneako's audience has a bias against women who wear this type of makeup, he's able to prime them to completely ignore everything she says. If I started this video by saying, now, everyone knows that people who wear white t-shirts are idiots, and look at this moron who always wears a white t-shirt. We don't need to listen to anything he says because we already know it'll be stupid.
True.
This would be poisoning the well. It is completely illogical to make ridiculous claims like that you can somehow know someone's opinions are incorrect just by looking at them. But I think the tactic Sneako uses more than any other tactic is he'll predict something about someone, and then if that prediction comes true, he uses this as evidence that their opinions are incorrect.
Okay, but if the prediction doesn't come true, then all of a sudden he just doesn't understand. Like when my conversation, I don't know if Ryan will bring it up, but there was a point where he's like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I was like, "Oh, like 31 or 2." I don't remember how. I think I was 32 at the time. And his follow-up question, he's like, "Okay, so you've been out of the dating game for like how long? Like 5-10 years?" I'm like, "No, for like a year. I was in a poly relationship." Oh, well, the reason that you probably think this way about women is because you've been out of the dating pool for so long. A year? Like, what are you talking about, you dumb fuck? You know what I mean? Like, he just makes assertions, and then if it's not true, he has no other argument. He doesn't know how he malfunctions. He has no idea what else to say. He's just like, oh. And it's like the people who in debates have a script, and they will always stick to the script, even if like that whatever's happening is a completely debunked, because they have nothing else to say other than the script.
People on the top are like, you three, are you all Democrats? You all voted for Biden? We know how many fucking shots you took. We know who you voted for. We know you got your gender pronouns in your bio.
Just because you can predict something about someone doesn't mean you've debunked their arguments. If I look at this person, I can probably predict that they voted for Trump. And I can also probably predict what a lot of their opinions are. But that does
probably loves fucking his sister. High five, sir. Got a lot in common. Just kidding. I hate my sister.
Mean that I have debunked their opinions. Someone can be predictable and still be correct. Now, I do agree it can be fun to dunk on someone for being predictable.
True.
Sneako is also incredibly predictable.
Very true.
If you watch a few hours of Sneako's content, you can basically start to predict everything he's gonna say. He yells a lot, insults people's appearances, calls men weak if they don't subscribe to his worldview, calls women inferior, tells people that they need to wake up from the Matrix and that they're a bot if they have any progressive opinions. It's all incredibly predictable. But pointing out that he's predictable doesn't mean that I've debunked his arguments. I have to debunk his arguments through logic and evidence. And just because you can predict that I voted for Biden and that I'm vaccinated and that I think women deserve equal rights doesn't mean you've somehow proved that the vaccine doesn't work and that women don't deserve equal rights. Next is false cause. Concluding that one thing caused another simply because they are associated.
Okay, learning a lot
will
today.
bring up genuine problems, but then blame those problems on something that isn't what's actually causing them. This is attributing false causes to these issues. Sneako claims that feminism is the reason there are more incels than ever, there are high rates of suicide among men, and that all school shootings are committed by men.
I would argue that it really has a lot more to do with the lack of like the job accessibility for a lot of these young guys. Like ostracizing them from their communities is part of it as well. You know, men are very tied. And so we talk about women's issues a lot too, of course, but men have issues too. And one of the issues that men have is that there's a higher expectation for men to succeed in society than women. It's a reality. That's why, I mean, you could look at things like, women being on welfare programs at a disproportionately higher rate, things of that nature. Men are just expected to be more of a provider in society than women. But a big problem that's affecting us right now is a lack of resources to provide more jobs. There's less money in the system than there should be because there's so much wealth hoarding. So you want to see a reason why men might be killing themselves at a higher rate. Maybe that's why. That might be a profound reason why they're killing themselves at high rates. I think it is, right? So,
Are you kidding me? There's more incels than ever. The self-delete rate is on an all-time high. Every school shooting is a guy. It's never a girl.
There are many factors that lead to these issues. Increasing rates of income inequality, a lack of support for men's mental health, men being isolated and not having healthy social groups to interact with, people telling men to bottle up their emotions, which often leads them to lashing out in violence.
It's interesting because you could also argue there's different ways that this expresses. Like for men, when they get, we have all these problems, and a lot of it I think comes from social media. We have a lot of mental health problems through social media. And like men, for instance, that might manifest more. I'm saying they might manifest more in them hating women. For some girls, it seems like, though, there is a disproportionately higher amount of like younger girls, I guess, identifying as like non-binary and whatnot on the internet. That's my understanding. It's been higher. Like there used to be a higher amount of like trans women than trans men, and like now it's kind of shifting, and like that might be one of the ways some of them, I'm not saying that non-binary people aren't valid, I'm just saying some of them might be incorrectly diagnosing themselves as non-binary as their like emotional way to cope with whatever issues they're facing, whereas men might take like a different approach to that. I'm not saying that's 100% true. I'm just saying that like it's an interesting thing to think about, the potential way that different people will, men and women generally will express themselves emotion-wise, because that would be considered like an expression of emotion. Like getting angry and hateful, becoming an incel is an expression of, it's an emotional thing. So just saying.
Far-right extremist groups radicalizing men into committing violent acts. I do think that some women's lack of empathy towards men can contribute to these issues.
True.
And I think we should all be working a lot harder to put support structures in place for these men. But saying that these complex social issues are completely being caused by feminism, the movement towards gender equality, is just not based in evidence. And you calling men weak pussies when they don't subscribe to your exact worldview is just making these issues worse. I want to live in a world where men and women can get along and no one is lonely and everyone is happy. But there are a lot
I want
of
to be in a
steps
world where I'm happy and everybody else is miserable, and they cry all the time, and I can laugh at their pain. That's where I want to live.
have to take to get there. One of those steps is not teaching men that women are inferior to them. This will just lead to women isolating themselves from men even more, which will lead to more hatred, more animosity, and more violence. I actually empathize with incels because loneliness is really tough. But I think the best advice to give incels is for them to focus on improving themselves and treating the people around them with dignity and respect. These are the best ways for incels to start developing healthy relationships with the people around them, which will make it more likely for them.
Brendan Fraser is going to be at Comic-Con. That's actually pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Brendan Fraser is great. You know, apparently Brendan Fraser is the guy who did George of the Jungle. Great actor and phenomenal actor, frankly. And his career got, I think, curtailed because he wouldn't have sex with like a female executive. Like nobody really talks about it. One day I should talk about that. Somebody should really like talk about that a lot more. I should maybe put together one of those big old video essays about it, because that shit's fucked up. He really got the shit end of the stick. That's a real case, and nobody really seems to care. Maybe it's because he's a guy, you know. So I might go to Comic-Con if I could figure out how to do it.
To get girlfriends and stop being incels.
You think he was actually sexually assaulted? Shit. I really should look into it more. I'm just not a very good video essayist, you know what I mean?
Next is false dichotomy, when only two choices are presented yet more exist, or a spectrum of possible choices exists between two extremes. Sneako likes to speak in false dichotomies rather than acknowledge that things in the world are often much more nuanced. Either take the red pill or the blue pill. Either choose to stay in the matrix or don't. Either wake up or choose to stay asleep. Either you're a bot or a free thinker. This extremely binary way of thinking ignores the complexities and nuances of reality. It's true that a lot of people who run the world are corrupt, but that doesn't mean that all of them are. It's true that a lot of the things we're told by the government are lies, but that doesn't mean that everything is. It's true that corporations lie to us, but that doesn't mean that everything they tell us is a lie. When you start thinking that every single thing you've ever been told is a lie, it makes you much more likely to believe lies and conspiracy theories from the other side. This is why you need to base your worldview off of evidence and data, not just off of believing whatever's the latest thing you've been told by Nick.
Well, that's the thing, is that he'll just say that the data is corrupt, and if it suits his argument. But then again, for whatever reason, when he was talking to Nick Fuentes is like, yeah, black and Hispanic people are just biologically intellectually inferior. He's like, really? Is that true? Can you send me some studies on that? I've never heard that before. And he was like super charitable to that. But if you give him like an objective COVID statistic, all of a sudden that can't be true instantaneously. Like you'd think that he would be like just as aggressive against literal racism as he's against COVID. Like I don't really understand that, you know?
Fuentes or Andrew Tate. It's incredibly ironic that Sneako is always making fun of woke people while simultaneously telling everyone that they need to wake up.
Wake up!
Do you know what being woke is, Sneako? It's telling everyone that they need to wake up from the lies they've been told. You are woke, Sneako. You're just a woke person promoting traditionalism instead of a woke person promoting progressivism. Yeah. You are so obsessed with not wanting to be a bot that you've become a bot for traditionalism. Also, it doesn't make much sense to me that you're saying we need to realize we're in the matrix and wake up and then return to tradition and do things exactly how they've already been done for thousands of years.
Yeah,
have you considered that maybe the way things have been done for thousands of years is the real matrix and that we should wake up and stop forcing traditional boxes onto everyone? But sorry, that's too progressive woke instead of traditional woke like you prefer. In my opinion, we're not living in the Matrix. Yes, there are a lot of lies we've been taught that we need to deprogram.
That's true. That's the only thing I'm really getting out of this, is that Ryan is trying to say that Santa's not real. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Traditionalists understand that Santa Claus is real, so.
Ourselves from, but that doesn't mean that every single thing is a lie. And I sincerely hope that you can eventually de-radicalize yourself from this extremely binary way of thinking, because right now it's leading you to fall for some very dangerous conspiracy theories, like the idea that the world is run.
Ryan is also white. Yeah, that hurts his argument as well. It's a good point. You guys are bringing up really excellent points today. I really appreciate that a lot.
By Jewish people.
The end of every conspiracy theory, you go down the rabbit hole, is always Jews. In a video game, they control the media, and in a video game, they control most of the money, and in a video game, they have for centuries and centuries.
Incredible.
Next is the fallacy of relative.
Incredible anti-Semitism.
privation, which is trying to make a scenario appear better or worse by comparing it to the best or worst case scenario. This fallacy is often used when people try to downplay people's problems because people have it worse in other parts of the world. Sneako claims that he thinks depression is fake because there are children starving in Africa and they aren't depressed.
To a poor country, no one's depressed.
Hey, men's issues are fake because Africa.
If they have food and their family members... I just said this yesterday, bro. I just said this yesterday. Depression is a privilege. Depression is a first world privilege. You're saying that your life is fine and you're sad for no reason.
You know, it's interesting because there might be more depression in first world countries, but I also feel like, has anybody actually gone and talked to these people to gauge like the statistic? You know, because a lot of these countries, like, they have horrible work conditions. Where like they get paid nothing for doing a lot, and they don't have access to medical care, and you're acting like they're the happiest people in the world. You know, I don't know if that's true. It's an interesting conversation to have. You know, like these high stress conditions might have to cause them to cope more. I mean, I don't know. There might be a exponentially higher death rates amongst children because, you know what I mean, because of how horrible it is, you know. So when we ask like, oh, is it, I just feel like this is something I feel like this is a first world assertion from Sneako and Andrew Tate, that like all these people are so happy in other countries, and like somehow pointing to people who are totally like misfortuned in some good, I don't know if that's the right word to use for that, and then being like, see, they're happy, why aren't you, kind of a thing. But then if like if you ever talk to anybody who's like homeless in America, like they're gonna be miserable. Like, you know what I mean? Like are homeless people in other countries like happy as fuck? Like, yeah, this is great. I just feel like I don't think that's true, and I think that honestly, there's probably a really big reason why people desperately try to come to America, because it's less of a depressive space. You know what I mean? Yeah, not complaining about it. Or especially nobody's actually broadcasting their complaints because people don't care. So I don't think that this is like a super intelligent point here. I think that this is a very progressive, this is a very privileged point that they're making. And it's a point that Sneako would probably call a white person's point, because he would always tell Destiny he's just white and he has a white perspective. This is a very like privileged American perspective. Like, yeah, they're super happy in Africa and they have nothing. It's like, oh, okay. Like maybe I don't know if I doubt there's any statistic that measures that in any capacity.
They're not that you don't get to be depressed in Africa.
While it is obvious that
saying that you don't get to be depressed in Africa implies that there's something preventing you from being allowed to be depressed, which implies that there's some kind of a looming threat there. So even you're aware that you're fucking a really terrible argument, a Mayo movement, you know.
that a starving African child is going to have a much worse life than a middle-class American with depression, making this comparison is a logical fallacy. Just because there are people in the world who have worse lives than us privileged Americans does not somehow mean that depression is fake. And starving African children also deal with depression. Just because you have one video of—
yeah, they just die. It's when they're depressed. You know what I mean? Like, they have it much worse, obviously. But the assertion isn't even that, like, oh, people have it worse in other countries. The assertion is like, they feel great about it in other countries. Like, they're not even depressed. Why are you? That's the real argument there, which is weird.
Of them looking happy doesn't mean you've somehow proved that
there's chemicals in the air in Africa. That's why they don't have these problems.
Don't deal with depression. Sneako also made a video making fun of D'Angelo Wallace for opening up about his anxiety and depression.
I wasn't able to do my job because my anxiety. I've deliberately not gone into detail about my mental health problems.
My mental health.
Part of me just wants to die.
Sneako just had a meltdown because he watched his girlfriend get fucked by multiple guys and he can't. Like, I don't understand. Like, how are you gonna like shit on mental health? Sometimes.
All the time.
So just stop wanting to do it.
And this entire video was based around the relative privation fallacy.
Your dude lives in the first world. You know, you got a lot of subscribers, you make a lot of money. Your life's easy. Comparatively.
I am absolutely certain that D'Angelo Wallace would agree with you that he lives
That's true.
a very privileged life compared to most people. But that does not make his depression and anxiety any less real.
What the fuck is entertaining about this? YouTube used to be funny. We're supposed to be like entertainers. Entertain me, at least.
And while you might not enjoy watching a video of someone opening up about their mental health, there are clearly people who do enjoy this.
Well, I don't. That's why I didn't watch this video. Sorry, D'Angelo. Just being honest with you. But, you know, I just don't watch it. I don't feel the need to watch everything, you know.
or the video wouldn't have gotten over 1 million views. Also, in your past, you've made videos opening up about your mental health struggle, so making fun of D'Angelo for this is just incredibly hypocritical and stupid. To me, it feels like there's some weird jealousy going on, like you're jealous that he got over 1 million views by talking about his mental health.
Isn't it crazy, chat, that you can get, how many views does it have? 1.2 mil? You can get 1.2 mil off of my anxiety and on my mental health and blah, 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 blah.
Just leave the dude alone and stop being such a fucking weirdo. I don't know how else to say this, but making fun of someone for their mental health just makes you a dick. And the only justification you have to stand on is the relative privation fallacy.
That it's funny. Fuck your mental health, bitch.
Just because D'Angelo lives an easy life compared to most people doesn't make his problems any less real.
Yeah, to him, sure.
The final fallacy we'll be looking at is the fallacy of double standards. Judging two situations by different standards when, in fact, you should be using the same standard. This fallacy is probably the one that people like Sneako and Andrew Tate get called out the most for, because of their brilliant takes like that women shouldn't be allowed to cheat, but men should.
Women don't cheat for fun, men cheat just because, like, it's just like what we do, bro.
As we've established, the only justifications they have for these double standards are...
Do you think that Sneako actually cheats, though? Like, Sneako doesn't read as a cheater at all. Sneako reads as, like, a... Sneako reads as a relationship simp. And listen, I've been there too. I'm not even shit on the guy, but like to be like, it really reminds me of the cool guy at the lunch table. That's like, yeah, I fucked a pussy before. I fucked a per China before. Just saying, dude. He doesn't really read as the kind of guy who would cheat. He reads like the kind of guy who's like, he's probably good. He's a lover, not a fighter. Honestly, just saying, dude.
Fallacious appeals to nature and tradition. Now, if a couple decides to consensually enter into an agreement where one partner is monogamous and the other is polyamorous, they can do that. This type of arrangement is very rare, but I guess it could work for some people. The problem comes when you make ridiculous claims like men's natural role is to be a cheater and women's natural role is to be cheated on.
It's just like what we do, bro.
Just because in nature males tend to have more sexual partners than females does not justify breaking someone's trust or somehow prove that men cheating is what's best for human society. For the majority of relationships, unequal rules where only one partner is allowed to sleep with other people leads to instability. This is just another example of this red pill ideology leading to more lonely men when these unequal relationships end up falling apart. As I mentioned before, Sneako has talked about how in the past he had an open relationship, but then he was traumatized by watching other men fuck his girlfriend. If I had to guess, this is what led to him adopting this worldview that only men should have multiple partners. Rather than working through his trauma, he decided to take the red pill, and now we all have to suffer the consequences. Sneako has such double standards that he thinks men's natural role is to be absolutely free, but for women, we should have laws that are more like Saudi Arabia. Sneako, the fact of the matter is, the majority of people, regardless
there's no way to be absolute.
of race, gender, or sexuality...
There's no way to be absolutely free. Like, a real man has responsibilities, which is another weird thing that Sneako thinks that, like, a real man can do whatever they want, but, like, we all... Like, we have responsibilities in life to do. You can't just get up and do nothing. Society will literally collapse if people don't engage in their responsibilities. It's just a fact. You need to take care of your shit. You need to get up. You need to go to work. You need to drive that truck. You need to, be a cashier. If these things don't happen, then we have nobody to actually, like, contribute to our infrastructure on the way things that move and operate. So it's just a weird thing. It's just a weird perspective to have. It's so bizarre.
Prefer freedom and equality over oppression and subjugation. This is not some uniquely American feminist brainwash.
Yeah, it's like a very anarchist world. It's basically the same as like anarcho fucking communist, but just for men. You know what I mean? Like, men should do whatever they want. Women should work all the job. Men should be the ones that make more money, but also men should be able to do what they want and not have responsibility. So logically, women would be the ones making all the money, right? And we'd enslave women to do our work. Not a bad idea, but I don't think. Problem with that is I think that we'd only get like the production would only go down to only like 60 to 70% of like general production output because women are just worse than men at everything.
Washing. Nearly every country around the world has agreed that they think equal rights for women is important. What you're doing is desperately clinging to a dying worldview because women have hurt your feelings and you think oppressing them will benefit you. I know you want me to call you a toxic, problematic incel, but I'm not going to call you any of those things.
When you say the word problematic, he goes like, well, he does that like kind of mushmouth thing. So
I'm going to call you stupid. You are stupid and you are promoting dangerous, dumb ideas that aren't based in reality that make life worse for everyone. You've called an abortion doctor a witch who should be burned at the stake.
Witch!
Why?
Burn you at the stake!
You've pretended to violently have sex with women you don't like.
Yeah, shut up with your feminism. Yeah, come here.
And put out videos like why consent is a complete joke and promoted the conspiracy theory that
What?
and put out videos like why
What? What does that mean? Why consent is a complete joke?
consent is a complete joke and promoted the conspiracy theory that Jewish people are running the world, which is the exact thing that led to the fucking Holocaust. In your crusade to become a free thinker who only speaks the truth, you've become an absolute fucking idiot. I don't care if you're toxic and problematic. I care about people's safety. And the ideas that you are spreading on your channel directly lead to people being less safe. And if you think that makes me some sort of beta male pussy for saying it, I don't give a fuck. I actually care about—
I wonder what that video is about. I wonder if that's just clickbait or if that's like actually like some really dumb fuck take from Sneako.
people, and you have proven time and time again that you only care about yourself. You've stroked your own massive ego so much that you've completely gotten rid of all logic and become the exact type of person you used to claim to hate. I understand that you're dealing with a lot of trauma from watching your girlfriend get fucked. That's totally fine, but I think you should get some help instead of taking it out on all of us. But as long as you keep calling people like Anna Marie weak for having trauma, and Chad weak for having emotions, and Danny a beta for wearing makeup, and D'Angelo a beta for talking about his depression, and Papa Gut a beta for having stuffed animals, and Zach a beta for wearing nail polish, and me a beta for being fat and only fucking my girlfriend, I'm gonna keep calling you a beta, because you're a cuck. So, Sneako, I think it's time for you to put on your...
Fucking, of all the things that could have stuck, it's the goddamn fucking stuffed animals. Damn. All the things that happened in that video. It's fucking stuffed animals, dude. That is kind of gay. That I'm the stuffed animal guy now, you know? It's fucking ridiculous. Well, what are you gonna do, brother? What are you gonna do, brother?
Big boy pants and start actually making some logic.
They're my wife's stuffed. We call them stuffies, all right? It's my wife's stuffy. I'm just kidding. They're not called stuffies, but you know, some of the stuff is gifts for my wife and stuff like that. So it's cute stuff, bro.
Logical arguments. Maybe you could even start doing some research so the shit you spew from your mouth is actually backed up by evidence. I think you and me both know that you're probably gonna get banned soon. I hope someday you can look back and regret the way you
He might have avoided the ban. I guess we don't know. We won't know, you know?
Away your entire career because of your need to stroke your own ego, promote stupid ideas, and treat everyone around you like absolute shit. All I know is I am not going to miss you. If Sneako responds to this video, I'm sure he'll respond like he does to everyone who—
I'll be honest, I hope that he doesn't get banned, because I don't think that would be right. But if he does, I probably won't really care that much. Like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't think he should have, but you know, just like Andrew Tate's like, yeah, I don't think he should have, but I really just don't care. Like, it just doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean? Damn.
Who criticizes him, not by actually listening to my arguments, but by screaming, throwing surface level insults, and challenging me to debate him or fight him or whatever. I don't really care. I didn't make this video for Sneako. I made this video to educate my audience about logical fallacies, and I made it in the hopes that just one person from Sneako's audience will realize that he is full of shit and start down the path of viewing the world through empathy and caring about evidence. Some people have called Sneako the Kanye of YouTube. Well, I think that is extremely disrespectful to Kanye. Kanye channels his manic energy into creating incredible art.
Yeah, like trying to be the president. That's art, baby. That's some freaking art. And telling George Bush he doesn't care about black people. Fucking based, am I right? Holy fuck, I just got slammed.
Sneako channels his manic energy into screaming at feminists in his bedroom. I think the person Sneako is actually the most similar to is Alex Jones. They both constantly scream about conspiratorial nonsense, and they both base their worldviews off of anger and hate instead of based off of data and evidence. So, I've made a little sketch called If Sneako and Alex Jones Were the Same Person.
Oh, Lord.
Recently, the woke mob has been trying to deplatform me. It's because they're scared of the truth. When you've been living your whole life in lies and you finally hear the truth, it scares you. So, of course, they try to deplatform me. But I am even more contagious than the Rona. And the more you try to suppress me, the more I pop right back.
Why did he become like a fucking southern redneck? The Rona. Like, is...
up because you can only suppress the truth for so long. So these beta soy boy liberal bots try to debunk my arguments with data and evidence and logical fallacies. Data and evidence are lies from the government. The only data that matters is what you can see with your eyes, because the
I like this character Ryan's playing. I really identify with them.
eyes are the gateways to truth. If someone tries to debunk your arguments with scientific data, that's because they've been brainwashed by Bill Gates and the jab. So they say, it's time to take your 17th booster for the monkey flu.
He says Gil Bates, though. He should have said Gil Bates. Gilbert Batesworth, all right?
and before you know it, your dick don't work and you're having transgender thoughts. That's how the global elites get you. Wake up, wake up, wake up! Gen Z is always whining. I have depression and anxiety. Well, have you ever considered why you're depressed? Maybe it's because you've been drinking too much tap water. Mark Zuckerberg has partnered with the Chinese to pump estrogen into the water supply.
That is true.
Look it up. They're trying to emasculate us. Men used to be strong. We used to be killers. Next time you're feeling depressed, go out into nature and fuck something. I don't care what it is, a tree, a horse, a cow. Fucking is the only cure for depression. These so-called therapists want you to be depressed so they can keep taking your money.
I'll tell you one thing. Fucking is actually very good for depression. I'll tell you that much, right? It's just, it is true, all right? You got to be aware of that. Got to be aware of that.
I can prove this to you if you just give me $245 to take my online truth course. Woke betas want to call me a toxic, problematic incel. It's not problematic to say that women would be happier if they were my slaves. This is basic biology, people. W's or L's in the chat for women slaves. I'm seeing a lot of W's, it must be true. Men are naturally free thinkers, so don't let anyone try to socially program you into what it means to be a man. Except me. Let me socially program you, because I know the truth. I have seen the ancient tablets. The Egyptian god Anubis came to me in a dream, and he opened my third eye, and he said to me, "Don't be a beta, Sneako. Take the red pill, Sneako. Don't be a beta, Sneako. Take the red pill, Sneako. You are living in the Matrix, and it is time to wake up. Everything you've ever been told is a lie. Unless you've been told that women shouldn't have rights. That is true. The only way to save humanity is to return to a patriarchal power structure where men have complete freedom and women have absolutely no rights. This is what Anubis told me in my dream. He appeared above me and I opened my mouth and he shoved his massive red pill right down my throat. And I said, "Oh, Anubis, you taste so good!" Women can't be leaders because they are too emotional. Why are women so emotional? Don't be emotional like a woman. Don't be
I'm not even watching what's happening. I think when I looked at the screen, it's fucking, it's making me fucking, making me a little uncomfy.
Emotional like a woman! I challenge any woman who thinks she's not emotional to a bare-knuckle fight to the death.
True.
We'll see who's emotional then. You woke fatties really think you're better than me. I am Sneako! I am the truth! I am the pinnacle of physical perfection! And someday you will all bow down to me. The reign of Sneako will last 1,000 generations, and once I have total control, no man will ever fuck my girlfriend again. Because that is not nice, and it hurts my feelings.
Actually, I put Striker in there. Okay, well, that was certainly interesting.
You're tough to swallow.
All right, let's move on to the Sneako response video. Yet another soy boy tries to cancel Sneako.
Create, inspire, and abuse.
Oh, no. Oh, and look at who he's best friends with. Another soy boy and a spliff. Giving me more, give me more.
Does he watch the whole video, or does he just watch part of the video? It looks like he just watches. It's just a 10-minute rundown on the video. Why not watch the whole thing?
Energy, they can't help themselves from talking about me. It's a 57-minute long video.
Well, you try to do that though. That's again, like, I think it's kind of dumb to kind of like assert like, oh, it's so long video, they can't stop talking about me. But that's like your desire. Like, you want people to talk about you. That's why you make the content the way that you do. If you were like, you know, more soft spoken or like a little more intelligent about your critiques, people wouldn't watch your content. But that's just kind of the way it is, brother. I mean, that's like the entire spread of like what you're saying comes from you being like a more toxic person on the internet. It's just the truth. So.
Video. Chat, do we need to watch this, or do we already know what he's gonna say? Do we already know what he's gonna say? Is it the same as this one, and the same as this one, and the same as all the Watanabe ones? I remember this one right here. He looks like Bob's Burgers. We can click around in the video. I remember him. And I'm telling you, when you get into a call with these like low energy soy boys, it's so predictable because you can roast the fuck out of them. You could debunk them. I remember talking to him in a panel with Keemstar like a month back when I was in Puerto Rico. Made him look dumb. He told me he was making a reaction video. I didn't know who he was. He was like, "Oh, you do lee all the time."
It's weird, man, because you looked really dumb in that video. Okay, I mean, I guess it's a matter of interpretation, but you certainly came out of that. I mean, not for nothing, but the kid ran away from the conversation from me twice. I don't know what to say to you, brother, but yeah, it's life.
The dude is obsessed with my shit. If you made a 57-minute video about me, looking like the rest of them. We know what the fuck you said, chat. Can we just predict it right now? And I know he's watching. I know what you said. You said I'm a misogynist. You said that anti-Semitic. Yeah. You said
you throw that in there,
you talked about the swinger party that I went to a year ago.
Yep.
You ain't talking about the open relationship that's open.
It sounds like he probably actually watched this video offline.
On my part, you said we know the video about me, looking like the rest of them.
Yeah.
I know he's watching. I know what you said. Talked about the swinger party that I went to a year ago. You ain't talking about the open relationship that's open on my part and close to my girl. You know, I really be like exercising it to that level. But I can get hoes. I can get hoes.
Okay.
And you can't. I remember getting in a call with him. I'm like, yo, respectfully, do you get any pussy? And he's like, well, I love my girlfriend. Okay. Then leave it at that. You got roasted in a live stream, made you look dumb, and now you have to make it an hour-long video with my name in the title. Just like this, soy boy. Just like this, soy boy. YouTube should ban Sneako. Responding to Sneako. And they're so afraid of a live stream.
Oh my God.
Because this soy boy, the same looking one, it's always a fucking, like, just a sad-looking dude from LA.
What?
Saying the same shit. So let's click around.
What does he mean you're so afraid of a live?
Looking dude from... They're so afraid of a live stream.
Well, I don't understand that. Like, oh, well, I guess Ryan, he said that he wouldn't have a conversation with him. So how would you know that? Because he talked to you already. Wait, that doesn't really make sense to me. That he would say you're so afraid of a live stream. Only because he talked to you already. So it shows that he wouldn't be afraid of a live stream. I do know that Ryan said in the video that he won't be debating him. But how would you know that unless you watched it already? I'm pretty sure Sneako already watched this video offline, and he's kind of like pretending that he didn't watch it to pretend to be superior to the video. Like, Sneako, I'm not afraid of a live stream. If you want to have a talk again, I'm totally down for that. Like the yelling and screaming and like the childish shit, it's fine with me. But like, yeah, I don't understand. Pretty sure he's already watched this video.
Because this soy boy, the same looking one, it's always a fucking like...
Oh, maybe he meant Nick and Noah. Did they say they wouldn't have? Okay, maybe. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe that's what it is. Okay.
Just a sad looking dude from LA. Saying the same shit. So let's click around. Okay. Let me guess. Fake alpha male. Swinger party. Okay. Misogynist. Okay. And trigger warning. I don't think he'd go that far to put him in the bio. I already have his Instagram up. Let me see. But yeah, bro, you look like Bob's Burgers. Like, it's just no one in my chat.
That's not actually Bob from Bob's Burgers. Okay, I forget who that is. That Neil? What's that guy's name? Glenn? I don't know.
Really cares about you. Your chat, your comment section, because you can't even do a chat. You're too slow to do a live stream. Your comment section's in there coping, probably saying, I can't believe it's disgusting that anyone would like him. Oh. We gotta stop. How do people even?
I don't know if I can watch this video. This is really like boring and it's kind of just dumb. It's just a lot of yelling. I imagine this is like, it's like watching an episode of Coco Melon. It's just him shouting loudly. I just feel like that's probably why younger boys are attracted to the type of content. It's just very loud. It's like loud equals funny. That's pretty much all it is. I gotta watch it. All right.
Even like this content. This is so, you're a hero for making this. That's what the fuck your comment section is. But none of my chat wants to watch you. You're boring. You're slow. Okay. Bottom line, like if you like debunked my logical, whatever the fuck. Let's watch a little bit. Let's watch a little bit.
Okay, I did pretty well.
I think. Trigger warning.
Oh, I guess
trigger warning.
I guess he did put a trigger warning. What did he say? Content warning. Oh. Content warning: misogyny, sexual harassment, racism, anti-Semitism. Okay.
Oh, trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
Is this shit on?
Whoa.
Chad, be careful. I don't want you to get triggered.
Where's the guy?
I'm glad he put that. Why are you dressed like this? You can hear everything? Turn this shit on, man.
Whoa.
Hello, my child. Oh, hello, your child. Weird.
Okay.
You look like a bagel.
Huh?
Yo, homie look like a cult leader. You look like a guy knocking at your door to some version of Christianity that nobody wants to join. You look like you're gonna sell me a book in a park.
Have you been sinning recently?
Okay, I don't want to hear your bad.
Are these are his jokes? Wow. Okay. All right.
Bad material. But you got roasted in a live stream, and I remember you told me that's how I remember you Bob's Burgers looking ass. You do like look in your shape like a bagel, and so I could debunk. Oh, there we go. You can scroll to the bottom. I don't want to watch this. You see, there we go. We got the podcast where I talked about going to a swinger party and not liking it because I wanted an open relationship, and so I felt guilty, and I went to a swinger party to go see if it could be fair for both sides, and I realized it wasn't.
Okay.
Every single one of them brings that up. And what else? Hasty generalization, hypocrisy. Look how much research he does. Look at that. He's got clips from my stream.
Dude, stop trying.
This dude does extensive research. They all do. They're fans, but they don't know how to be fans because that triggers.
Wait, why is that a bad thing? They do extensive research. That's a weird criticism.
And so because I go against their entire ideology, they need to make a reaction video debunking me or whatever. Because
yeah, but you do the same thing on your channel, no? Because you disagree with other people's ideology, you kind of start. You kind of start it. No, like it's a lot of debunking this, debunking that kind of shit. Yeah. So
because they can't accept the fact that I'm right. And you want to know how I'm right? I could probably find it on Instagram. Okay, look how many clips you got on my stream, bro. Fans, I've never watched your content. I'm never going to. I'm never gonna say your name. And you're borderline obsessed, bro. Look how many.
Sneako's bed in the back.
I guess that's why he has the video. Is that why he puts his webcam over there to block the names of the people he watches? Is that the whole idea? Interesting.
And even like
background of his videos.
Oh, bro, you're looking at the bed in the background of my videos. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Another one in a spliff, chat. Another one in a spliff. Let me go to his Instagram
I think he was talking about the teddy bear thing to show you that like there's like a level of cognitive dissonance there. Like that was the whole point of that. But.
Tell you why he needs, without watching it, tell you why he needs to hate me. Okay. Look at that. Look at you now. This is you today.
A month off of social media because being exposed.
Oh no! This is chat. Bomboka! Oh no! Oh no!
As an abuser was very difficult
Oh.
on my mental health. My purpose is to create, inspire, and abuse.
Oh no! Chat, don't say I'm afraid. I've already talked to him on a live stream. I've already had a debate with him. The guy looked dumb.
Would you say that they were afraid of you? Or like, I understand, would that make you afraid?
The guy looked dumb. And, I mean, look here.
Okay.
Oh no.
God is the one who gave me this purpose. So.
Oh. Free Willy. Yikes. You scroll back a couple of years, bro. You what happened? Look at that.
This is my 9-month weight loss update. I am currently at 197.
What happened?
Well, I guess he didn't lose the
What
weight.
happened?
Pounds. I started.
That's why you don't like me. Oh, that's why you're obsessed with me. That's why you've seen all of my live streams. I'll never watch yours.
Did it 220.
But you're triggered by it. I mean, really, like, look at that. What year is this? This is 118 weeks ago? That's 2 years ago? Go back even further, like, you know. Okay, well.
I thought he did a reaction to that Noah Samson.
All right, you got a lot of pics up, man. I want to watch. Here's a girl. All right. I understand. Let me not be disrespectful. God wouldn't want me to go and make fun of a man's wife. Really stick to their roots. I
have a real girlfriend. She's from.
All right, this is mostly just him watching. It's kind of just boring. There's really nothing here except for him just constantly looking at his Instagram. So, personally, it's not really much of a comeback. It's kind of fucking boring, but okay, cool. Cool reaction, I guess. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.